G'day, I'm Alistair, and this is an EdgeSwitch from Ubiquiti. In fact, it's an EdgeSwitch 48. So it's 48 ports and a bunch of SFP ports and 500 watts of PoE. This is way overkill for what I need, but what typically happens is these 48 port switches end up being cheap secondhand because not many people want them. Enterprises sell them, and individuals want 8 port switches and things like that. So I've got this 48 port switch. Now normally it has 13 screws holding it, the case in place, but I've already removed those. And we can see inside there's a little bit of surface rust in here, and in the case you might be able to see in here it's must have been like operated in like a humid environment, maybe slightly salty or something like that, but all the electronics look fine. The rust seems to be mostly limited to around the fans, and there's still a bit of dust. I have given it a quick vacuum. But what we want to do is replace these fans. Now some of them are not working at all. I think this one's not working at all. This one is partially working. These ones are fine, but they are quite loud. In fact, I'll put the case back on and power it up so you can hear. So if I put power in and the fans spin up, it's not hugely noisy, but in a silent room, this is going to be like, comparatively, sound like a Harrier jet trying to take off. It's quite loud. Oh, disconnect that again and take the cover off. So all we have is the four fans. I'm going to replace it with just 2, and what I'm going to do is, typically these are mounted in racks like this, but I'm going to turn this one on its side so that it's up this way, and I'm just going to have 2 fans in the top sucking air out, and air will naturally rise, so that will also help with keeping it cool. So our first step is going to be taking the fans out, but before I do that I should see if these are labelled positive and negative. No, they're not, but they are on the things, so having a video record of this is handy. So I'm going to open one of these Noctua fans. And something you might notice is that the Noctua fans have 3 pins rather than 2. These are 2-pin headers, and I've seen a lot of people online do fancy adapters and that kind of thing for them, but what you can do is you can just have a look, and there's a black, red and yellow. Yellow is some data, I believe, and the obviously black and red is ground and power. So I can plug that on just like that, and it'll work fine. Now, in fact, it doesn't quite reach. I'll have to use the extension that's supplied. Let's power that on to demonstrate that it works. And there's the fan spinning, and that's going to replace those ones there. So let's power this off. Looking at this, I've also got an EdgeSwitch 24, and it looks like this is just basically 2 EdgeSwitch 24s mashed together. Would be my guess. This is why there's 4 headers. So on an EdgeSwitch 24 you could have 4 fans, it would be one of these boards. And so that's why we've got 8, so we could do a little bit of experimentation. So I'm going to unplug that again and start removing screws. So let's do that. So use a power tool. Get Okay, that's one. Okay, that's two. There it is. Okay, there we go. Okay, and these ones are quite corroded. Hopefully you can see bits of rust coming off as I unscrew. Okay, let's grab one of these. Now this one is going to reach, I think, why is that quite long enough to reach through there, so I might do it sideways. And that's going to reach no problems. Oh, that might actually reach as well. So let's plug that one in there. And grab our second fan. Plug that in exactly the same, and it will go there. So it will go that way. So our first problem is we have this little packet of screws, and the hassle is these screws are not going to fit through these holes. They might, with a little bit of effort. They are bigger than these ones, quite a bit fatter. So my suspicion is that yeah, that's not going to go in very smoothly. If I can get that out. So what I'm going to need to do is drill out these holes a bit. Now, so maybe 4.5 or 5 mil. I'll start with 4.5 mil. And of course, you need to be reasonably careful not to go hitting wires or the PCB or anything like that. So yeah, no, I think I'll go up to 5 mil. And I reckon that I could probably just get away with 2. Yeah. So let's screw those on. rather than with a power tool, so that I don't go stripping the thread on the fan. Now the downside of these screws as well is that they stick out a bit. So if I was being pedantic, I would try and let's remove that. I would see if I can bevel the edges of the hole out a little bit so that they sit flush. But I don't think I'll risk that. Okay, that is nice and secure. And what I should do is just plug that in and confirm that it is indeed blowing air in the correct direction. And that is indeed operating, and yep, that is blowing out. So that's cool. And it is silent. Now I don't think it's blowing as much air, but that is okay. I'm not sure if these are 12 volt or 5 volt headers. I think these are 12 volt fans, so it might be no, those are 12 volt fans, so that should be fine. And I'll do the same pattern on this one. Okay, okay, let's use the remaining 2 screws in this packet. Yes. Okay, that just reaches. That's really cool. I do want to make sure I get all of those little filings out of the case, because I wouldn't want it to short any of the electronics, because that would be bad. Okay, so that's the 2 fans replaced, and that was a reasonably simple operation. And next step will be to put everything back together and make sure it all works. So now it's a case of putting all the screws in the case back, which is a little bit of a painful exercise, which I won't necessarily subject you to. So I might stand up to do that. And right, okay, let's see some. Now, also included in the bag of tricks with the Noctua fans is there is an extension cord, and there is these 2 low basically resistors, I think, and they reduce the fan speed to make it even quieter, but we'll see how this goes. From what I could hear, it sounds pretty good. A bit of the noise that's generated is actually the air rushing through, so if I power that on. I cannot put that above the outside traffic. I'm currently in a garage. And that is subtly pumping a small amount of air. So they're quite quiet. They're, I think, quite a lot less powerful than these standard fans. They're a lot thicker, probably, but yes, make a lot more noise. But I might be able to reuse them, or if I sell this again, I will replace the fans, or at least put them back in. So let's go plug this in and power up and check the web interface, and we can have a look at the confirm the fans are recognised in that, and also the temperatures. Well, actually, I'm not sure if the fans are recognised. You might have to use the command line interface to check the how much power has been given to the fans. So let's go do that, and then get it installed. So here is the web interface to the EdgeSwitch, and we can see it's 48 ports, well 52 because of the SFP ports. Now I couldn't actually find anything in here or in the legacy user interface which allowed us to check the temperatures. So we'll need to log in, save the EdgeSwitch. And default username is Ubiquiti, and default password is Ubiquiti, but obviously it's not that anymore. So we went enable to allow us to use more of the available commands, and oops, hit show environment. And we see that the temperature is sort of the highest temperature there is sort of 68 degrees, and the highest it's been has been 79, which is pretty hot. This has actually occurred. I had the switch just lying flat on the carpet, and carpet's quite a reasonable insulator, and so I don't think it was cooling down as fast as it could. And also tilted up a little bit, and so that's dropped the temperature down quite a bit. And when it goes on the wall, I think it'll be even cooler. But even so, it's a lot warmer than the, let's look. This is my EdgeSwitch 24, and we can see the temperatures on that quite a bit cooler. I think partly because there's various parts inside the 48 port EdgeSwitch have to work quite a bit harder, so they probably are a bit warmer, and so that's kind of expected. And the fans on the EdgeSwitch 24 are at 70%, and likewise on the 48 port version. So that's the temperatures. Now I'm going to be swapping out. I have a planet switch, which is what I've got currently screwed to the wall, and we can look at the PoE temperatures through the web interface. PoE status, no, configuration, there we go, and we see that it's at 52 degrees for the highest temperature, which is quite within we're within sort of what it's capable of. It's probably the maximum 120 there, but it's of course 3%. It's not doing very much. But there's a few things plugged into it, but not very much. It's what, about 10 things. A few other things are currently switched off. I'm making a bit of an effort to use less power. I've been turning certain things off when not required. So, and the interesting thing about this planet switch is that I've actually disabled the fans completely. So it's running completely silently. So the new EdgeSwitch will be a little bit louder, but it will be nothing compared to the sound of the computer, which is beside me. So that's probably all I want to talk about. Maybe I'll do another video when I'm installing the new switch, but the fan replacement is clearly successful. It does seem to be running a little bit little bit warmer, but I think when it's vertical, the heat will rise and it will cool more effectively, rather than getting trapped within the case. So thank you for watching. I'm Alistair Christie. I hope you found this video instructive, and I'll hopefully make some more. Thank you.